Hi, it's Graham here, still living the dream in 2018, and you're watching part 2 of Grenada 2018, an introduction to our Sandals LaSource vacation, the sandals of tomorrow, today. When I first started to plan this particular video series, I was going to call it Sandals LaSource Grenada on a Budget 2018 in reference to our New York on a Budget series that I filmed back in July, simply because this is probably the cheapest ever trip that we have done to a Sandals resort since, well, we started going to Sandals back in 2013. First of all, I booked the flights to Grenada, well, from London Gatwick to Grenada about 11 months ago using Avios points or air miles on British Airways using my British Airways American Express card. And also I used one of the companion tickets that I have on this very American Express card from British Airways. As I say, I booked them 11 months ago because to get mile seats on British Airways, and especially business class mile seats on British Airways, you need to book quite early. We booked Sandals itself through a travel agent in Manchester in the north of England, recommended to us by our good friend Mr. Sandals himself, Ken Stevens. And as I say, it was a pretty darn good deal that we got. Again, I booked that back in, I think it was January or February of this year. And in fact, the most expensive bit about this entire trip to Sandals was the flights between Glasgow and London Gatwick and back again. It is October week or the autumn week off here in Scotland. So getting flights between Glasgow and anywhere was horrendously expensive. So this year we've chosen to fly down on the Friday afternoon on a British Airways ticket to Glasgow, from Glasgow to London Gatwick, and on the Sunday the 22nd of October we're flying back to Glasgow from London Gatwick on EasyJet. Yes, you've heard it here first. Graham and Fiona, for the first time in ages for a holiday, are flying EasyJet. Our journey this year from our home in Straven to Sandals LaSource Grenada starts at our home airport at Glasgow and takes us down to London Gatwick on Friday the 12th of October. And just like we've done for the last couple of years, on the Friday night we've booked in to the Hilton Hotel at London Gatwick Airport's South Terminal, which is literally only a 5-minute walk to the South Terminal and British Airways check-in. Our journey to Grenada continues on Saturday morning the 13th of October on British Airways from Gatwick to Grenada via St Lucia. If you watched last year's video, you had seen we were on the ground sitting on the aircraft in St Lucia for only about 20 to 30 minutes before continuing to Grenada, which only takes 20 minutes. And unless things change, this is all done on a British Airways Boeing 777. I know the room categories at Sandals LaSource Grenada can be long and complicated, so this year we've booked a Southsea's Hideaway Junior Walkout Suite, only a metre or two away from the fantastic Hideaway infinity pool that Fiona and I found during our last visit to Sandals LaSource Grenada in October 2017. And here are some photos and videos from last year that we took around the fantastic Hideaway pool at Sandals LaSource Grenada. So here is the approximate running order or schedule for this video series. And I do mean it's approximate because when you're on holiday, you don't make plans, you don't make schedules, and therefore this video schedule may change. Part 1, Have a Little Patience, was published last month and looked back at our trip to Grenada in 2017 and therefore what we have to look forward to when we revisit this year. and you're currently watching Part 2, an introduction to our forthcoming trip in October 2018. Part 3, we cover the journey from our home in Straven to check-in at Sandals LaSource Grenada. And in this episode, I even plan to produce an unedited version of the bus journey from the airport at Grenada to Sandals LaSource, which shouldn't last more than 5 or 6 minutes. In Part 4, we simply cover the first few days of Fiona's and my vacation. And for those of you who watched our last video from Grenada 2017, you will have seen we did a tour called Pilot Your Own Boat. Well, this year we plan to do something slightly different, and we're going to do one of those buggy tours. Well, that's the plan at the moment. Who knows, it could change. And that's all ahead in Part 5, because in Part 6 we plan to do a resort and room only tour. And this is where I want to say a massive thanks to those who watched last year's resort and room tour and helped to take the count to just under 3,000 views in 12 months. We then continue the vacation in Part 7, and in Part 8 I plan to cover the last day and then that trip back to the UK. Part 9 and 10 are therefore just recap videos. In Part 9, where I try to consolidate 7 days, 7 nights in 7 minutes. And finally in Part 10, where I try to stitch the constituent parts of this video series into one single movie. And that's our plan so far for Grenada 2018, The Return. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you wish to follow Fiona and I as we make a return to Sandals LaSource Grenada in October 2018. And to close this introduction video, here's a TV commercial that I found for North America selling Sandals LaSource Grenada, the sandals of tomorrow, today.
There's an exotic place where you can swim in the sky, where all the pleasures of a 5-star luxury vacation are all included. Sandals Grenada. Experience the sandals of tomorrow, today. Call 1-800-SANDALS.